What's up, y'all? So, quick word for y'all. So, I may not be a glamorous, popular YouTube star. I may not be a rapper. I may not be a singer. I may not be a professional dancer. I may not be a fashion model. I may not be a celebrity. But guess fucking what? I still make good fucking content, and one day I'm manifesting that I will be a popular YouTuber.
It's time to shine. Give them what you got, baby. Time to show them all you are. It's time to shine. Give them what you got, baby. Time to show them all you are. It's time to shine. Give them what you got, baby. Time to show them all you are.
Y'all think I'm ready for this? Y'all really not ready for Lady T Angel 2023.
It's time to shine. Give them what you got, baby. Time to show them all you are. It's time to shine. Give them what you got, baby. Time to show them all you are. It's time to shine. Give them what you got, baby. Time to show them all you are. It's time to shine. Give them what you got, baby. Time to show them all you are.
Hey, what up, YouTubers? So, thank y'all so much for joining me in this video. This is the part 2 to my new DoorDash video 2023, which is how I show you guys how to multi-app. Now, before we get started with the next part, I want you guys to hit that like button for me, subscribe to my channel, share this video, and comment down in the description box below on what exactly you think about it. I appreciate the love, y'all. I really do appreciate it. But in the meantime, also hit me up on my other social media accounts. I'm going to post them right here. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and go on to the next scene. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to try not to make this video too long-winded. This is the second part to DoorDash and Grubhub once again on how I show you guys how to multi-app, especially if you've been in the game for a while and you're wondering, like, okay, how exactly does it go? Does your money build up faster? But it's all about depending on you guys and how you work your system, because every driver out there has a different system. But I'm not going to get into that right now. This is the introduction. Meantime, catch you guys in a little bit. Hope you guys enjoy the video. But anyway. Hey, what up though, YouTubers? You are joining your girl, Lazy Angel, for once again, another video. And this was a long-awaited project because I know I've been taking all day to produce this. But we're here, so calm down. I'm right here. So, you know what that project is? Drumroll. Part 2 to my DoorDash and Grubhub video. Now, this month I'm going to be talking about the basis on how to multi-app. I'm not going to give you all of my expertise because some of them will come out stupid, and there's a reason why I say this. Because when you've been multi-apping as long as I have, and as long as you know what you're doing, but sometimes you turn around and do the stupid thing just because you want or need the money. Yeah, I'm not going to give you those tips. Because this is strictly a beginner video. I'm speaking to the beginners, people who are either starting out or is interested in multi-apping. This is what I'm here for today. So I'm just going to give the beginner basics of multi-apping. We'll call it like multi-apping for beginners. I was about to say dummies, but I'm not gonna call y'all dummies. I'm gonna call y'all beginners. So amateur is a meaner way of saying it. So I'm not gonna use that word either. I'm just gonna stick with beginners. So okay, here we go. So if you're interested in multi-apping. Now, we call it multi-apping because we run different platforms at once, trying to build our money up faster, just in case one platform alone is unreliable. It took for me to realize for some time, for me working Grubhub alone by itself for a few months. That's what made me beg to get my DoorDash account back after I got deactivated. Long story, I do not even want to get into it. I am not happy to be back on DoorDash because they still on the same bullshit right before I got deactivated. But, like I said, Grubhub became unreliable by themselves at some point, so that's why I had to beg for my account back with DoorDash. Not only that, but I'm also working a third platform now, and that is called Instacart. But we're going to discuss that later on sometime in the video. Not in this video, but in another video. That's if I choose to talk about it. Like Instacart for beginners. I'm technically still a beginner because I've only been working Instacart for a little over a month from this video. This was shot in the beginning of May, so yeah, a little over a month. I've been working with Instacart. So still learning a little bit of how it works and promos, all that good shit. So okay, I know I'm completely missing the point of the video, so let's get into it. Okay, so multi-apping for dummies. I mean, oh my god. I'm sorry, that just came out before it went right here. I'm so sorry, guys. Multi-apping for beginners. I am so sorry about that. I mean, if y'all laughing, that's completely understandable. Like I said, it just came out of my mouth without it going up here first. So I'm sorry. I really didn't mean that. I meant to say beginners. Okay, so multi-apping for beginners. See, I corrected myself that time. So. Okay, so we call it multi-apping, like I said, because we run several platforms at once, trying to build our money up faster. Like I said, for instance, I do Grubhub, DoorDash. They both involve sometimes shop and deliver. Sometimes, most of the time, it's always going to be food and delivery. And I also do Instacart, which is a grocery app. I think it's kind of like the same thing as Ship. I never worked Ship before. Tried to apply for them, and they said I couldn't apply again after the first time. So never got a shot with them, but I got a shot with Instacart. Yay. Okay. They had me on the wait list for a good couple months after I had applied. And then they finally put me on as a driver sometime in March. Like in the middle of March. So yeah, when you're running several platforms at once, you're literally online with all of them, trying to build your money up faster. That's why we call it multi-apping, running several platforms at once. It's multi-apping. I know that's not technically a word, but that's what us drivers call it. We call it multi-apping. Instead of saying several platforms, I feel like that makes more sense if that makes any sense to you guys. But yeah, that's why we call it multi-apping. So number one tip that you guys always want to focus on when it comes to multi-apping between several platforms, whether it's working two at once, or if you're kind of like a intermediate expert like how I am, try to run three at once. I did that a couple times, and yeah, had some late deliveries behind it, so I don't always do it. I just do it when I can. That's the thing. So yes, Grubhub, DoorDash, and Instacarts. Like I said, rare times where I do all three at once. But the only time that's an easy situation for me is when they're all bundled up in the same area. And Instacart doesn't take me all goddamn day to shop and deliver for, or going through checkout is what I mean. So, don't ask me why. I just don't do it all the time, okay? So, okay, so the number one thing that you guys always want to focus on when it comes to multi-apping for the first time. If I were you guys starting out, I will always start out with two instead of running all three like how I do sometimes. Okay, so when you're doing two at once, one of the number one things you always have to remember is your starting points. What I mean by starting points is where your pickups are. Like, it doesn't matter if you're doing Uber Eats, DoorDash, or Grubhub. Like, when you get a new order for the first time that you hit accept for one platform, it takes you to a certain pickup point, okay? Like a certain area. Okay, so whether it's you're going to that point or the second platform tries to send you in a different direction that's kind of like a far distance. I say, like, if it's more than like 10 minutes, I wouldn't recommend doing it. Not unless you're going to pick that one over versus the first order. That's if it's paying more. So my point is, depending on the areas of where your pickups are, it will always be a smart idea to focus on, well, sometimes with the pickup times for Grubhub, it's always confusing. They're never truthful when it comes to the pickup buy times. DoorDash is always more truthful when it comes to that scenario. So the pickup times, like I said, what you guys always want to focus on is, like I said, we're going to eliminate the pickup buy time. Except when it's in the case of focusing on DoorDash, because they're more truthful than Grubhub is. The only time that Grubhub is ever truthful is when it comes to the ETAs or getting to the diners. I don't know why they call them diners. We still call them customers. Yeah, Grubhub calls them diners. I don't know why. Never got that. And I've been working Grubhub for about 2 years. I think so. So... Okay, so like I said, say for instance you're going to the first area of pickup from one platform and it's one order only. You start heading there, and let's say for instance that the second platform sends you another order, and it's right literally where you're standing at. Okay, so I would say for that add-on, it's acceptable just because you're standing in that one spot. But if that one spot that you're standing in for the second add-on is with DoorDash, I would say accept it, mark yourself there, swing back around. There's a reason why I say that, because Grubhub is more strict when it comes to pickup times. I had discussed all of this in the first video, I believe. So if you don't get to the restaurant after you hit accept for Grubhub by a certain amount of time, it will first start by alerting you between 1 to 4 times, and then it will remove the order from your app. Now, note when it does that, that's a penalty against you. Like I said, this is all discussed in the first video, so I'm not even going to get all the way into it. But yeah, sometimes with multi-apping, you'll have to do like back and forth, like, okay, this order right here has the wait time. I have to come back around for it, but I can still mark myself here since I'm already right here. And then I go back around for the first pickup point, which is about, let's say, like a good like maybe 5 minutes away, which isn't bad because you won't be going too far from where the second area is at. So You go to the second point, you mark yourself there, order comes out, boom. But do not mark pick up until you have all of your orders, or until you figure out. No, let me put it this way. Don't mark pick up for any of your orders until you know where you're going first. That's the other important thing too that I gotta mention about. Okay, so like I said, you get the first order, you mark yourself there, but do not mark picked up. Go back to the second standing point where you were just at. Get that order. Figure out where everybody is at, but make sure they're at a good distance before you hit accept for so and so orders. I'm gonna just put it that way too, because if you just hit accept without knowing your standing points or where the customers are from each other, then that's gonna make it harder on you, and you can risk being late from one of your customers. I'm just gonna put it that way, or worse, it could be both. So that's just another fair warning to y'all. So that's the other tricky part when it comes to multi-apping. Like I said, sometimes you'll be pressured to taking orders that pays good, but the customers aren't in good distance from each other, so you're gonna risk being late from one or both. So that's another thing that's very important to focus on. Not only the standing points of where you're picking up for both the customers, or it could be 3 orders at once. It could be 4. Like I said, 4 is more challenging, so be careful with that. I would say don't do 4 at once unless you really know what you're doing and you get in the hang of juggling 2 or 3 orders at once. Like I said, pickup points from restaurants, knowing where the customers are from each other before you hit pickup for an add-on. Those are very important to remember. Like I said, the customers are based in the same area. They're less than like 8 minutes from each other. And the ETAs aren't so generous between both of the platforms. I would say be mindful of those as well. And let me see, there is something I am missing here. Okay, so standing points, knowing where the customers are from each other. I would say some of the times too, if the ETAs are generous and the very last customer is like a good distance from where the first customer is, as long as the ETA is generous, it's very acceptable. Like I said, if you ever come across something like that, that's completely fine. That's up to you. But always be mindful of the ETAs and where the customers are from each other. Like I said, as long as the ETAs are generous, it will make it a hell of a lot easier for you to multi-app if the customers are far distance from each other. Just something to keep in mind too. Like I said, when it comes to multi-apping, ETAs always still a very, very, very big thing. Like I said, the platforms don't know about their drivers possibly doing more than one platform. So if you continue to be behind on ETAs for customers, and the apps keeps tabs on their locations at all times, so even when you don't mark pickup for an order, immediately leaving the standing point to go to another restaurant for another platform, the apps can still track you. So that's why I say ETAs are very, very important to be mindful of, and basing where the customers are from each other, where you're going to go to first. Depending on who you go to first, I would say once you have all of the orders for your route ready, decide on who you're going to go to first, depending on the distance and the ETAs. Then for that platform, mark pick up and then go straight to them first. Now, when it comes to Grubhub, like I said, we had discussed this before in the first video as well. Once you mark picked up for any Grubhub order whatsoever, they're going to expect you to go straight to the customer or straight to the next restaurant standing point if it's 2 orders that you're dealing with for that one platform. So, like I said, just be careful. The best thing about Grubhub, even when you're working on 2 orders at once with them, you can mark yourself back and then go back to the home screen where you can see both of your orders instead of marking pick up to go to the next thing, because that is very, 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 very important. Now with DoorDash, you have to go to the three tab thing on the, I think it's the left corner of your screen if I'm correct. You have to go to a certain task, and then there's something in the app where it says jump to task. You have to hit that, and then the app will refresh that task to where you can see it, to where you command it. I think I forgot to talk about that too, where it says jump to task for DoorDash. So that's annoying, but with Grubhub, it's much more easier to jump through. I'm just going to put it that way. DoorDash is a bit more complicated, but still easy. Okay, so how am I saying here? Basics, like customers are from each other. Okay, no, I think that is pretty much it. Like I said, I was only going to cover like the basics, like your standing points, where you're picking up from, as long as they're not far of a distance from each other, unless they're going on the way to where your pickup is. Like, okay, let's say for instance, you're in your first standing point picking up for a customer for DoorDash. Your DoorDash is going in this direction to where you're dropping off for the customer. My bad. To where you're dropping off for the customer. And then let's say the ETA is about maybe like 30 minutes or less. Grubhub sends you something that goes in the same direction where your drop off is to that customer, but it brings you back this way to where your Grubhub customer is. Now, the reason why that one is acceptable is because the pickup for Grubhub is on the way to where your DoorDash customer is. You drop off, get your Grubhub, you drop off to your DoorDash customer, and then you swing back around and drop off to your Grubhub customer. That's the reason why I say that one is acceptable. Like I said, if it's on the way to your customer, I say completely go for it. It doesn't always matter where the standing points are, but sometimes they do, depending on what the ETAs are for the customers. Like I said, just some food for thought, some things to keep in mind. Like I said, it will all come to you once you're on the road for the first time and you're actually trying multi-apping. But just in case you guys want me to do like a on-road tutorial where I actually show you how multi-apping works, feel free to throw comments my way below, description below the video. Or feel free to send me a private message, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys as soon as I can. I'm not always on my YouTube, so sometimes I won't see messages until like maybe months later. Like I said, it's nothing about you guys. I'm not always on my YouTube like that, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm trying to get more into the habit of being back into my YouTube, because life, shit just gets in the way. You know how adult life is. Shoot, I'm 30 years old now. I got it a whole lot tougher than how I did in my 20s. Okay, so like I said, if you guys want me to do an on road for you guys to where I actually show you guys how multi-apping works, please let me know, and I'll consider doing a part 3 for you guys. But in the meantime, please like the video, please share, subscribe, and like I said, comment with your girl, so that way I'll consider doing a part 3 for you guys, just in case you guys want it. But in the meantime, I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of your day. I'm not sure if I'm missing anything. I'm just, like I said, I'm actually missing a lot. I just told myself to give you guys the basics because there's actually a whole lot more to multi-apping when you're intermediate or expert. But like I said, I'm not going to get into that because this video is strictly for beginners, so that's what I'm talking to. But like I said, in the meantime, God bless. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Bye. Bye. Hey, what up, YouTubers? Now, congratulations, you guys just made it to the outro of this video. So once again, I hope you guys had enjoyed the project, and thank you so much for sticking with me until the end of this video. And once again, as I was saying in the intro, probably all throughout the video as well, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to me, please. I very much do appreciate it. Appreciate all the love, because y'all the reason why I keep going. Okay, so since we made it to the outro, it is time for me to let you guys go on with the rest of your day. I hope you guys had enjoyed the video. I hope it very well educated you and get you to where you need to be better as a multi-app driver, just like me. And I hope that I was the best of assistance to you guys, especially if you're just starting out trying to multi-app this and that. So praying and hoping that I was the best assistance to you guys. And some of these tips I gave you, you guys probably didn't know about them. Okay, but anyways, God bless you guys. Let you guys go with the rest of your day or evening, whatever time you're watching this video. I don't really care, but enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And thank you so much for watching. See you.